Good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. This is another unscripted auction review. Today we're doing something a little bit different. I'm looking at a vehicle that has already ended, so I don't have to update you at the end with the sale price. This is kind of interesting and sort of unexpected for me. I keep a pretty good eye on the bring a trailer market, but this one, I got the email notifying that it was live just over a week ago. I clicked the little star. It was busy at the time, so I said, I'll go back and look at it. And then I was busy when it ended. So even though I got the alert that it was ending, I never actually looked at it. So this is the first time I've really taken any look at all beyond this first image. But speaking of that image, so we see this sold it with no reserve for $18,000. It was 44,000 miles. So this is a pretty high sale on a pretty low mile truck. It's a great color, Sienna Pearl coat. Believe this was just the last 2 years of production, 2000 and 2001. Might have been 2001 only. No, it was definitely a 2000 and 2001 color. One of my favorites. Looks really good on these. Somebody has added some pinstripes that are certainly not my style, but they've done that. So yeah, we've got the Echo wheels. Looks like we probably have the deep tint rear windows. Kind of funny. The rear door is open here, so you've just got this big opening. Kind of goofy. It's got some Cooper tires with white outline. They look all right. They look a little big, maybe. Got the Mopar mud flaps here. Bit of fading from the door moldings and the bumper ends here. Probably could have applied some sort of a treatment to them, a ceramic coating, something like that, to at least breathe a little bit of life into it. Oh, and I see the driver's door is open too. Antenna's a bit bent, probably from car washes and such. So it was purchased new by the seller's late parents from a dealer in Monmouth, Illinois. I'm not exactly sure where, if that's northern or southern Illinois. Definitely a big difference in climate there. You get up toward the Chicago area or Wisconsin, and it's very rust prone. You get down southern Illinois, and you're basically in Tennessee at that point, and not as big of a risk. But anyway, Sienna Pearl coat, agate cloth. It's an automatic with the base command track transfer case. They mentioned the Echo alloy wheels, and nothing else terribly useful here. It does appear to have the optional CD player. Oh, we got a window sticker. So I will guess the options and we'll see if I get them right. Let's see here. 44,000 miles. Nothing terribly interesting on the side here. We've got an old personalized license plate. At least it looks old. We've got no trailer hitch on it. So we've got the tint and the alloy wheels. Not much information here. Here's a pretty terrible side view photo. Looks to me like let's see if I can zoom in a bit here. Why is that not working? There we go. Looks to me like the tailgate might be a slightly different red, but it also could just be the angle. 25/75 tires. That is actually, I believe that's the factory size, so I guess it's just those big letters make them look big to me. There's your agate interior. It's got cruise. That was an option. CD player. I think I mentioned that earlier. Also an option. We've got headliner's been replaced and the blower motor was changed. That's not a particularly big job. 44,000 miles on the odometer. Engine bay. This is what I like to see. It's a bit dirty. I mean, not a very good photo, but it's a bit dirty. So it hasn't been all tidied up for sale. Ooh, underneath, not quite as pretty. Boy, that I will have to look up where Monmouth, Illinois was and see, but that is a bit crusty under there for sure. And that's proper body rest under there. That's not, you'll get it on the axles or the drive shaft, and not quite as worried there. It's a lot of heavy steel to go through, and you can just coat it, and it doesn't really matter. But this is pretty rusty here. That's a bummer. All right, let's see. Excuse me. I cough into I always cough. I just have like a sip of water and then cough whenever I'm doing one of these. But anyway, let's look at the window sticker here. Automatic deep tint fog lamps. I didn't actually notice those. So it got me on that. Speed control, CD player, and Echo wheels. This was a pretty well equipped Sport. It's missing select track. It's missing upcountry suspension. It's missing the trailer tow. It's missing the cargo cover. Believe I'm trying to go just using my memory. I believe those are all of the options on a Sport in 2001. They're pretty limited on what you could get toward the end of production. So For 2000 and 2001, for instance, you could not get the overhead console or the power driver's seat or the Infinity sound on a Sport. Anyone who says otherwise is wrong. All right, let's look at this Carfax. One owner, 62 records. Wow. Buckle up. almost 25 years of ownership, 1,800 miles. They bought it in January of 01. Serviced it 5 days later. Let's see here. All right, so I'm not going to read through because there's not a whole lot of detail other than oil changes here at this dealership in Monmouth, however you say that. Wow, this is exactly what you want to see. That rust is not, but this is great. I mean, I'm hoping that they did a little more than just basic oil changes, but fog lights installed. That's strange. Who knows? Maybe one of them cracked. Yeah, again, we're doing great here. Boy, that dealership probably knew them by name. I mean, if you look at the mileage progression there, here you've got, this is kind of nuts. So they were going by the sticker in the window for their oil changes. This is just 400 miles between oil changes and 4 months of time. And then here another one, 238 miles, if I'm doing the math, 248 miles, sorry, here in 3 months, almost to the day. They did replace a starter. They replaced a power window motor and regulator. It seems incredibly early. Golly, this is just crazy. 600 miles in 4 months, or 575 miles, I guess. 580, whatever. And they're changing the oil. This is insane. Oh my goodness. I'll just keep zipping through because I'm not just looking at the right side here. They did a transmission flush at 37. Here's that blower motor that happened a few months later. And of course, they did an oil change. I mean, if they changed the oil 62 times or whatever it was, so it's 300 quarts of oil, 320 quarts of oil, something like that. That's an insane amount of oil. I mean, a lot of people would have changed the oil 4 times in 44,000 miles. All right, so here we've got, so guessing here's where, something happened. So we've got September of 19 with 39,000 miles, and then we've got absolutely nothing. So this either says to me that maybe this dealership went out of business, maybe somebody got sick and that was the end of the regular servicing. Maybe somebody went into an old folks home, something like that. I mean, we did have COVID hit in this time period, which would have been probably about the time when they were due for their next oil change. But we had an ignition coil replaced here in 23, an oil change, probably the first one in 4,000 miles. In 24, a battery, some brake lines, not a surprise because I bet they were rusty as could be. This was, this was during the auction actually that was done. Now there's a couple things to note here. Number one, if we go back up to this, there's a possibility that this dealership just stopped reporting to Carfax. Unlikely, but it's possible. I don't know if it's still around. I'm not going to bother looking it up. But and then the other thing that's sort of interesting is, so this was on Halloween, and it's possible that they did this. We'll have to see if there's a receipt in the auction here, but my guess is that this was done a little while ago, and it's just when it posted to Carfax. All right, enough about that. That's fairly boring, but 71 photos, so luckily this won't take too long. We got a little ding right here. It's kind of annoying, just sitting right under there. The fender flares look a lot, or not the fender flares, the moldings look a lot grayer here than they do in this one, which was the hero shot. This is a terrible photo. This is one where you probably would have gotten more money if you had paid for professional photos or just found somebody to take them, because these are terrible. And the red is hard to reproduce, depending on cloud cover and where the sun is. But yeah, I still feel like that tailgate's slightly different, but it doesn't look it here in this garage shot. Boy, that is a Midwest garage if I ever saw one. That's amazing. I wonder what that sticker on the back says. It's got a star, maybe it's some sort of police thing. Got one of those fake bullet holes. Real mature. Don't usually, they usually crop it so there's not a person in these. Rusty exhaust pipes and scratches on the bumper. Nothing major though. This little line here is probably just water dripping from the wiper. Those pinstripes are really ugly. They are not my style. They look like the kind of thing that somebody might have tried to match to a like an RV or something like that. But this doesn't look like it was ever used as an RV towed. I just don't see the I didn't see anything on the front of it. Yeah, these are some genuinely bad photos. Yeah, I think this is just the dripping here. It's a little weird how it kind of goes in, but there's a picture of some bird poop. We got some rust on the mounting screws because these were installed by the dealer back when it was new, or they're at least an accessory. Who knows who actually did the installation? But all right, let's look inside here. Hopefully, we get some better photos because so far these are terrible. Nothing really to be concerned about here. They did say that the headliner was replaced. I see a bit of rust popping in at the seams here, and not a surprise given what the underside looks like. So despite the low miles, this is not a preservation grade XJ. Boy, these photos just not good. Got the orange needles. Love to see that. They haven't faded. The interior looks real nice though. Yeah, we've got, I don't know exactly sure what's going on with all this keychain stuff, but we do at least have one remote, which is nice. Probably works just fine on this one. I wonder if we're going to get any pictures of the underside of the doors. Common rust spot on these. Love seeing blankets and towels in cargo areas. Seatbelts, got to push those forward. Compact spare there. Yeah, I don't see any scraped or cracked plastic. That lousy engine photo. There's your air box. Some interstate battery. Still got the factory tie down. Nice to see. Those tend to go missing. Boy, here's those crappy undersides. What a bummer. It probably looks a little worse than it is because of the flash. Yeah, you see here in the... Yeah, hosing this off would help, but I mean, there's nothing you can do at this point. Treat it and just drive it. There's your VIN. There's your window sticker with your preferred customer keychain. Don't know if that's from the same place. Was it delivered to the same dealer? Yeah, Kavanaugh's Motors. It was not a special order. It would have said it right up here. Although with these options, they wouldn't have. All right, we got a couple receipts to look at here. All right, so these are... I don't think this one was in the... I can't remember. I don't think this was in the Carfax. So we had an oil change and a blower motor replacement. $35 and a $10 oil change? What? Oh, plus labor? Still. Goodness, that's very cheap. That's wild. Change blower motor resistor. 35 is about right for that. It's a very easy job. $20 tire rotation. Here's a digital receipt we've got for the ignition coil. They put a new one on. Not a very difficult thing to do, but price seems reasonable on that one for what it is. $26 oil change, well, plus a few other things. Wiper blade. It's just one. Okay. And a little splash of coolant. I wouldn't be too worried about that. Here we've got probably was uploaded during the auction, a picture of the command track transfer case. So yeah, nice Jeep. Shame about the rust, shame about the presentation, but yeah, this one, I fully understand this $18,000 price. So anyway, if you disagree with anything I said, have any comments, questions, please leave them in the comments section. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to watch some of the other videos, and be sure to subscribe so you don't miss anything.